Namaste. Hi everyone. So we are here. I'm here with Danni. We're recording at Yasodhara Ashram in the amazing Temple of Light, and we're going to be talking a little bit about this place, some of the practices that we've learned here. And Danni, do you want to start by introducing yourself so that people know who you are?
Sure. Well, hi, my name is Danni, as Tash said, and I have been living at the ashram for about 1.5 years now. I came in September 2018. I'm originally from Ireland. Yeah, and I am a karma yogi, a resident, and yeah, a person who lives here.
Nice. So, as Danni said, both of us at the moment are karma yogis, which is one of the principles that this ashram is founded on. So, shall we say a little bit about what karma yoga is?
Yeah.
What do those words mean to you?
Ooh, that's a very ashram question.
It is.
What does that mean to you? Karma yoga, yeah. Well, karma yoga is the practice of selfless service. And it's basically doing what needs to be done because it needs to be done, and doing it without ego or looking for anything in return. And so we do lots of different karma yoga here. We have karma yoga in the garden, which Tash has been doing a lot of recently. Yeah. Or general grounds work, or hospitality, or working in the kitchen. And so Swami Radha, our founder, she purposely made this ashram a karma yoga ashram so that we would be putting the practices that we were learning here and the tools that we were learning here into practice in our interactions with other people and in our relationships to work, so that when we leave here we could take them with us out into the outside world. Because it would be a lot easier to just go to a retreat or an ashram and just practice hatha and meditate all day and be super blissed out all the time. So she thought it would be a lot more practical to do it this way, and it gives plenty of learning opportunities.
It really does,
yeah.
and I think that's something that people will be interested about, because I've heard a lot of students, and I've been to classes myself where I've thought, wow, I've had this really spiritual experience on my mat, but how can I bring that into my day-to-day life? And I think here, doing karma yoga, or the concept of karma yoga, is a really great way to do that, because you're bringing awareness into the smallest of actions, like scrubbing the dishes, or that kind of thing, and importantly, the reactions that you have to those different things. And another way that we implement that here is, which we've been doing just now before we did this, is reflecting. So that's journaling, but I found it different to the journaling in the sense that I've been doing before, like writing a diary. It's more if you ask yourself questions like, where am I now? And that could be in the physical sense, the spiritual sense, the emotional sense. So yeah, that's another practice that we do here as well.
Absolutely, and they go hand in hand. They're like two sides of the same coin, because that's what makes karma yoga so powerful, is the fact that we are constantly reflecting on how we engage with the work that we're doing in the world and with the people that we're interacting with in the world. And so, without reflection, karma yoga wouldn't be half as powerful. And without karma yoga, we'd have nothing to reflect on. So they're two really important practices that really complement each other.
So is there a way that you can think of that if someone is interested at home in practicing some karma yoga and reflection, how they might go about just doing that in a day?
Absolutely. You asked such a good question. Go about doing that. I think, we have a set time that we reflect at every day. So I think for me, knowing that I have a set time that I'm going to be reflecting on my experiences and on my thoughts and reactions and emotions throughout the day, it helps me constantly be mindful of my thoughts and reactions and emotions. And so that's a really good practice, I think, is like knowing like, okay, at like, for us it's 3:30, so knowing at 3:30 I'm going to be sitting down and writing about my feelings for a while, or I'm going to be talking to someone about how the day went. It helps me be more engaged with myself rather than kind of mindlessly just going through the day like I normally would if I didn't have that. And then having another person to share with really helps. Someone to witness you and hold you accountable. And also having like questions or themes that you want to reflect on, like saying today, okay, today I want to reflect on I'm trying to think of a really common thing on
gratitude.
Gratitude, that's what I was just thinking. Wow, okay, I want to reflect on gratitude, like what's that like? Or I want to reflect on this part of myself that my anxiety. I want to like observe that. What triggers that during the day, and what makes it feel better. And so having like a focus as well can really, really help and be super enlightening.
Yeah. People might be wondering, what is an ashram and what is Yasodhara Ashram? So, what is an ashram?
An ashram is, it's kind of like a spiritual home. Or it's a place where people come to engage in spiritual practice and learning. And usually it's founded by a teacher, or it's founded around a specific set of teachings by a specific teacher or a guru. And so in our case, our founder and guru is a woman named Swami Radha. And she was originally from Germany, and when she was originally in Germany, and she lived through World War II, and then after World War II she moved to Canada, and while she was in Canada, it was a long story, but she got into meditating, and then she started having visions of her guru, Swami Shivananda, of Rishikesh. So she went to Rishikesh to meet him, and then she lived with him for 6 months at his ashram, and had a pretty wild time, and you can read about it in Radha Diary of a Woman's Search, which is all of her journal entries from that time. But he told her after 6 months, okay, you've got to go back to the West now and take these teachings and translate them for the West, for Western minds. And so that's what she did, and she came back here and she found this beautiful place, and she built an ashram on it, and now we have the place that we have today and the lineage we have today.
One of the teachings that she brought here, which is really special about this place that we've already talked about, is karma yoga, right? And you've already said that it's about bringing the practice to life into the everyday.
Absolutely.
What other things would you specify as being Yasodhara Ashram specific?
Well, again, like we said, we work a lot with reflection, and for me there's two aspects of reflection that I find really powerful. The first one is the power of really good questions, and you kind of mentioned them earlier, like where am I, like what's happening right now. Asking questions and then letting yourself answer them. It's not very often that we ask ourselves kind of hard questions, you know. So that's one. And then a really good question is, what are my ideals? It's a good one for you at home.
Pen and paper out.
Yeah, it's a really good one, and there's lots of other practices you can do to help you get to knowing what they are. But and so another practice that we use a lot in reflection is symbolism, and so symbolism is really important here because it touches on everything that we do. Really, we look at everything symbolically, and it's because we work a lot with our unconscious mind. So we do a lot of dream work, and we do a lot of drawing work, like what comes forward in a drawing, and then we do a lot of waking dreams, for example, where you look at the smallest things in your day and say like, oh, what's that about? What's this person that's really triggering me? What do they symbolize to me? And so the power of symbolism is really, it can be very transformative, I think.
Yeah, and I know for myself. I've used it to, should I go back to England when this pandemic started, or should I stay at the ashram? And really simple, just drew my vision of staying here, my vision of going home, and that made it really clear to me that I should stay here now. So if you're struggling and you like drawing, one of the key things though is that she used crayons, so the drawing can't be perfect. It's kind of childlike, so you don't spend hours over your drawing. So if you have some crayons lying around and you have a question that you want answered, it might be good to draw it out.
Absolutely.
2 different sides.
That's an amazing practice.
It really helped me.
Yeah, I find that too. And yeah, they're definitely no works of art. Like if you saw my drawings, they're literally stick people. It's not that you're like showcasing it, it's more you're trying to giving your unconscious a way to express itself. And drawing is a really great way to do that. So it's like expressing a feeling.
Yeah, and I would say giving the unconscious a way to express itself is quite a hard thing to do because our conscious is always trying to grasp and take control. But one of the things that we do with dream work, which I'm sure some people would be interested about, is using symbolism and writing down words that just come into your head, right? Could you explain a little bit more about that process?
For sure, yeah. So dream work is amazing, would recommend. And so the way that we approach dreams again is looking at everything as something, what does this symbolize in me? So most people will dream about people or maybe like an animal or cars or something like that. Rather than taking it literally like, oh, that's like I dreamt about my dad in that dream, it's like what does that person symbolize for me, you know? And so a great way to connect into that is by, say for example, if it's a dream about a person that you had, write down the name of the person and then put 2 minutes on a timer and just for 2 minutes straight just write every single thought and word that comes into your head or feeling that that person elicits in you. And after 2 minutes, whenever you're finished, you'll probably kind of see a theme coming up about that person or that symbol. It could be anything, it doesn't have to be a person. And you'll be like, oh, like this actually feels like this to me. And that person will become that symbol for you. And so this is your unconscious is trying to communicate with you through the language of your dreams, through the language of your own unconscious. And so they'll be like this, it knows like, oh, for me a really common symbol in my dreams is a car, and for me cars mean freedom. So when I see a car, I know now like, okay, this is like my vehicle to freedom. So what's that about? So it's your unconscious is like trying to, it knows what you associate feelings with. And yeah.
So if you are also interested, it's important to write down your dreams, right? That when you wake up, if you remember your dream, write it down, and that way you can work with it more easily. And there's a book, what's it called? The Realities?
Of a Dreaming Mind.
Of a Dreaming Mind. Finishing each other's sentences. So if you're interested and you can buy books, then that's a really good book of Swami Radha's, who was the founder of this ashram, on the dream method and getting in touch with your subconscious and your unconscious mind. Yeah,
it's amazing and it's really detailed. And if you're interested in dreams, I'd totally recommend it. It's really changed my life, for sure. And if you have a really powerful dream that makes you feel really uncomfortable, definitely write it down. Because that's like, your unconscious is really trying to catch your attention there. And it's really trying to send you a message.
Recurring dreams. Recurring dreams are obviously important.
Yeah, write them down. Even if you're half asleep, I write them on my phone.
We're going to end with a light visualization. But this temple was specially built to bring in lots of light from different places. And there's a lot of symbolism associated with that, isn't there?
Yeah, there really is. Yeah, well, Swami Radha focused on the light so much because it's a really neutral symbol. And she wanted it to be something that was accessible to people from all different backgrounds. And so in the temple, hopefully you guys will be able to see it, in the center we have this oculus, which is this sort of window that's right in the center of the building on the roof, and all the light can shine down into it. And then we also have 8 doors to symbolize the 8 major religions of the world. And Swami Radha had visions of this temple when she was really young, like a child, and it stuck with her throughout her whole life. And then when she founded the ashram, finally one day she stumbled onto this area that overlooks the lake, and she realized, oh my God, this is it. This is where the temple needs to be built. This is where I was having visions of. And so she wanted the 8 doors to symbolize the 8 religions, to represent that this path is accessible from any route that you take. Whatever your own unique path is, honor that, and then in the center we will all find each other in this space of light, and in that sense of common humanity.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice. So it's not about one particular religion, or I know we've talked about gods, goddesses, and some people may hear that and think religion straight away, but here there is no dominant religion. The religions are more symbolic than that, and this temple is the ultimate symbol of light.
Absolutely, yeah. And some people might call that like God, or some people might call it the universe or source. It's just any higher power, something to aspire to. Yeah.
Right. So we're going to end with a light visualization, which Danni is going to take us through.
Sure.
I'm going to send, Danni also has a really beautiful blog where she writes poems and your experiences, right? So I will attach a link to the bottom of this video for that. So check it out. It's really great stuff. But yeah, we're going to get comfortable and do a light visualization together.
So finding a comfortable seated position, and you can close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And bring your attention to your breath. Just observing your body expanding as you inhale, and allowing yourself to relax and become more present to this moment with every exhale. Really feeling into your body, into the earth supporting you. And allowing yourself to be fully here and now. And using your imagination, visualize a vast source of brilliant light high above you now. This light has no shadow, no end. And see some of this light showering down all around you now. Feel its warmth as it showers all around your body. And see some of it pouring in through the top of your head. See it beginning to fill your entire body, from the tips of your toes, up your legs, your torso, your fingertips, arms, neck, face, to the top of your head. See yourself completely filled with this brilliant divine light. A vessel for light. Until you are no longer a body, but a beautiful, glowing being of light. And feel the warmth of it. And affirm to yourself, every cell of this, my physical body, is filled with divine light. Every level of my consciousness is illumined by light. Divine light penetrates every single cell of my being, every level of my consciousness. I am now a pure channel for light. I am one with the light. And carrying this warm glow with you, this feeling of light emanating from you and all around you. As you bring your attention back to your breath, back to the earth supporting you, to your body, to the room around you, all while carrying this glow, this light, knowing that it's always accessible to you, always within you, that you are light, divine light. And wiggling fingers and toes, you can come back into the room and open your eyes.
Thank you. Namaste.